up, everybody? It's your boy, Between the Game Sports. We are back. Woo! Got the SWAC championship game coming this weekend between Jackson State, and Southern University. The Jaguars are looking to come in to pull off the impossible, man. It's been pretty much 2 years and counting, that nobody in the SWAC has been able to defeat the Jackson State Tigers. And it's going to be a tough task for the Jaguars this Saturday. I believe the game is at 2. We had some people in here real early today. Shout out to my guy Marcus. Marcus, what's up? Memphis Jags was in here. Troy LeBlanc is saying, let's go Jaguars. And he said, let's go SU fair up. So, with that being said, man, it's what can Southern do to dethrone these guys, man? And we know what happened in the last game that these guys played. It was 35-0. 35-0, and it just didn't look good from the overall standpoint of the game. Right? Southern did come out. They played with a lot of aggression, a lot of energy to start this thing off in the last game. This is probably about a month ago. Say about a month ago, this game. Probably about a month ago. As we got some people trickling in. Y'all, appreciate y'all coming through. And those you come back. For those of you who watch the replay, man, make sure y'all hit that like button as always. Hit that like button as always. But about a month ago, this game went down. Southern versus Jackson State, it was 35-0. And, you know, Southern came out with a lot of passion, a lot of aggression. Right? They got a turnover on downs early. First possession of the game, Jackson State went for it on like 4th and 1. They tried to hand it off to Wilkerson. Southern's defense stopped them. And, you know, they're in great position. They're in a great position to be successful. And on first down, I think they had an incompletion. And second down, they had a false start. So put them at like 2nd and 15 off the rip. 2nd and 16. My guy, DeAndre. What's up, Cross Street? What's up, my guy? I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be more of a contest this time around. I will give my prediction towards the end. I may pick Southern. May pick Southern for the upset. But then they go for the field goal on 4th down for about a 45-yard field goal, and they get it blocked. And after that, it was just pretty much over with for Southern. Shedeur didn't have one of his best games. He was 18 of 33 for 194 yards. Not his best game, right? Not his best game. He could have played better, as my guy Hoop Jordan just jumped in the building. What up? I'm going to send you the link in a little bit. And what I saw from Southern after that first possession, you know, it was just kind of downhill from that point, man. Getting your field goal blocked, you start with such great field position, and you can't even get 3 points on the board. And I go back to Shedeur. Shedeur didn't have his best game. Really didn't have his best game. 18 of 33 for 194. He had one passing touchdown in the game. But the key thing for them in that game of Jackson State, who I'm speaking of, Shedeur ran the ball well, and then my guy Jones, I can't think of his name right now. Maybe Jones or CDOA, one of the two. They always say when Shedeur rushes for about 40 yards, Jackson State is pretty much unbeatable. But even then, again, 2 years and counting, nobody has been able to defeat these dudes. Nobody has been able to defeat them, and it's just a tough task. And my man Mario's in the building. Said JSU is winning this Saturday. DeAndre says I'm riding with though Southern may be a very aggressive to this go around. Hey, y'all heard some of the Southern players. I want to say it's the transfer from Prairie View. The defensive lineman, he said it's hard to beat a team twice, right? And you always hear that term in the basketball world, in the college and district and stuff like that. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Yes, I will say that. I will give them credit. I want to say Mr. Dumas said that. I'm going to give you credit. It's hard to beat a team 2 times. It's harder to beat a team 3 times. But in football terms, we have the rematch, the Boombox Classic, the rematch, and I just think Jackson State is just a different type of breed. And I said it from the very, very beginning of this season. The preview show that I did for the SWAC. I just think Jackson State is on a mission. They had unfinished business from last year, right? Even though they won the SWAC, right? They want to get back to the Celebration Bowl, go undefeated, and win the Celebration Bowl in grand fashion. So I just think that for Southern to pull this off, they're going to have to damn near play a perfect game. And as I said, we still got folks trickling in. King, yeah, what's up, man? What's up with you? It will have to be a complete egg laid by JSU order for Southern when Boss Villain says. Southern has been enemies of Gremlin and JSU ever since the 70s, when all 3 of them on the SWAC. Yeah, absolutely. The big three. Jackson State, Gremlin, and Southern. Obviously, the big 3. America's fastest travel APT is in the building. Doc Holidays, what's up, my guy? Not when you blow them out. And Dad is in the building. Hey, Dad. Back to what I was saying. Southern is going to have to play basically a complete, perfect game. And I'm not saying as far as being able to dominate on the scoreboard, anything, just mistake-free football. Not having multiple 3-and-out drives, right? Not turning the ball over, which is something that they did. The quarterback for Southern, what did I say? Is it Bishan McCray? Bishan. I want to say, I'm pretty sure I'm probably obliterating this young man's name. He did throw an interception. I want to say in the 3rd quarter, it was tipped, and Shiloh ended up getting that interception. Y'all seen him go to the sideline and do his drum major thing with that. But they're going to have to play perfect. Mr. McCray is going to have to play his best game, and it kind of take the playbook out of what South Carolina State did last year. All right, they were able to hold Jackson State. Remember, Jackson State didn't have very, very much faith in their kicker. They went for it a couple of times early on in that game, as I'm trying to send this link to my guy, Hope Jargon. Didn't have success early. Then what did South Carolina State do? They got hot. The quarterback for South Carolina State, not the best of quarterback, Mr. Fields, I think is his name. All of a sudden, he started hitting guys that he wasn't used to hitting. He was in the second half. I think he had like a 60%, 70% completion rating. And that's way above his average. Way above his average. Most times last year, he was under 40. Most times last year, he was under 40 for the season. I think he was about 50 overall. And they just got hot at the right time. And so Southern needs to try to take a page out of that playbook. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying it's going to be successful. But that's something you can do and kind of get Jackson State off their heels in a little bit. And y'all saw the game against Grambling last week in the Bayou Classic, excuse me. They were able to rattle the young quarterback of Grambling. And once he got rattled, it was pretty much over with. They did cause some turnovers. They had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I think they had a pick 6. So if you can do something like that, the Jaguars of Southern, if you can do something like that, you might have a chance, as my guy Hoop Jordan just jumped in. What's the word, man?
Yeah, man. Southern is going to have to dig in their bag deeper than the second half, defensive flurry, which we seen them do to my Prairie View Panthers. We saw them do the Grambling last week.
Yep.
Because Jackson, they're not going to allow you to do that, man. So I'm very curious to see how Southern comes out the gate. Coach Dooley, having Dumas as well, on the squad last year, having Jawan Pass came out totally flat last year in the SWAC championship. So I wonder, I like Coach Dooley a lot, man. I just wonder for what he has to work with. Can he come out fast? Because when I covered the game last week, what I kept saying was Grambling had all those early opportunities and they were not capitalizing.
Nope.
Early opportunities, they kept getting it, and I kept saying, "What you gonna do with it?" That was my verbiage off rip. And Grambling gave that game away, man. If we're being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the exact same thing I said. And like I said, I think the young quarterback just got rattled. I think the moment became too big for him. He started making some timely mistakes, and give Southern credit. They capitalized on every single one of those mistakes, man. And
absolutely.
Of course, the penalties, that's always something. But penalties on both sides of the thing. I heard Gremlin fans with the rumblings. Oh, man, a penalty, this and that. That wasn't this and that. Yeah, that may be the case. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to this is the Bayou Classic. You're playing for all the marbles. You're playing to have it was the 49th. It was like 24-24. So this is your chance to go up
24-24
in the series. One in the series. I don't want to hear about the excuses of the referees, right? You got to go out there and get the job done. But like I said, I just think that young quarterback, can't think of his name, he got rattled, and he just wasn't ready. He wasn't able to shake that off. And I don't think Southern can do that to Shedeur.
Yeah, no, because the reality is Jackson State gonna beat the hell out of you. If that's what you're gonna give up, with a very inexperienced freshman quarterback that they got at Grambling, what do you think Shedeur's gonna do to you? Shedeur's gonna murder you. And, and then let's not talk about Savion Wilkinson. Like you think that Jackson's gonna let you hang around like that? Like Grambling gave him a gift, man. Like they gifted them that chance, that game. And I want to add this too. Grambling had the chance to be spoiler. Like, I'm sorry, Grambling and Southern, just like Texas Southern Prairie View, I wouldn't like nothing else but if we having a horrible season to knock TSU out of SWAC championship. I would love nothing better.
For real.
If that's how bad our season is, you feel me? So, it's unfortunate because Grambling had so many opportunities, again, with an inexperienced quarterback with a lot of potential, with a lot of ability. And I hate to say it too. Now, one thing, I'm with you lock and step on this. I don't like to blame referees. However, the brother who got that roughing the kicker, it's just like, dude, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
Hey, he tried it twice, dog. He got away with it once because they threw a flag, dog. That's the same thing I was saying in that stream. Like, dude, why are you trying to be a hero? Why are you trying to make the whole
Why? You don't need it. Just get the ball back. You don't need a big play, dog. Just get the ball back. Lord have mercy.
And truth be told, and like, I don't want to ever blame one play or one person, but Grambling never recovered from that moment on.
Oh, yeah. It was done after that.
They never recovered from that point on. And so to segue that over to what, you do at Jackson State, they rarely turn the ball over. Rarely turn the ball. Now, on punts, that's a different story. I think most of their turnovers actually come on punt returns. Shedeur has a couple of picks. I want to say he's at 6 for the season. They have a couple of fumbles here and there, but I want to say it's less than 10. So you can't depend on getting those gifts like that when you're playing against Jackson State. They're too smart. If they do make a mistake, they usually come out the game. Now, Shedeur is not going to come out the game, but Southern, you cannot depend on your ability to get turnovers to win you this game, because even if you do get that, you might get 14 points out of it. You might get 10 out of it. And we know Jackson State starts slow, but something happens at the halftime where they come out and it's just a different breed, and it's a home game for them. And like I said, I just think they're on a mission because they didn't finish the job last year. If y'all people that's on this channel, I talk about that all the time. Finishing the job's not done. So I just think they're on a mission to go completely undefeated, go to the Celebration Bowl and dominate that game.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. I think Jackson now has they've been hitting the mouth by South Carolina State last year, because nobody predicted that loss. So it's almost like, I'll compare it to this. When my Lakers, like I say year 3, when we won, the three-peat, it's almost like we kind of slept through the regular season and the early rounds of the playoffs. And then when it was time to whoop some ass, it was time to whoop some ass. And I think that's kind of what Jackson, because you know what I'm saying? It's a different mental, what's what I'm looking for? stamina that you have.
Yeah.
And I think Jackson knows, I mean, from a roster standpoint, they better than everybody on paper times 2. So you kind of get a different stamina. Like, okay, you're ready for the games that matter, which is SWAC Championship, Heritage Bowl. You know those are the main games you're looking at. So I think Jackson gonna be locked in, especially getting surprised last year by Coach Pugh and his Bulldogs. I don't surmise that, you know, Jackson gonna have that problem again because they've been there before. So the guys who lost, Aubrey Miller, Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, they're gonna let the guys know, like, nah, bro. This right here, a whole different thing right here now.
Yes.
So I don't see it, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think Jackson's gonna be fine, man.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody that's kind of trickling in here, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. And Eric Daly says once Jackson cuts out the turnover, they will continue to be dominant on offense, defense, and special teams. The only way Jackson loses if they beat themselves. Yeah, that's kind of, you know, our sentiment with that. They don't really beat themselves. It's
facts.
They do so much, so many things. I want to say great. I'm going to say they do a lot of things really, really well, really good. And we haven't even talked about the man beast that is, you know, Savion Wilkerson. That game,
yes,
he had 21 carries for 96 yards. I think Southern's defensive line is suspect in that fact. And that's something that Grambling was doing pretty well last, if I remember correctly. They were running the ball
absolutely.
well. They were running the ball well. So when you got a guy like Wilkerson who's, you know, probably going to finish either first or second team all conference, and he's a low, you hand him the rock and let him get to work, right? And we know Jackson State is not going to do that because for some reason they wait till the second half to start handing him the rock. But if they decided to come out and play smash mouth football off the rip, I think it will get ugly, and it will get ugly quick. But you know, I'm not saying Southern's going to get ran out the building. I think it's going to be a little more competitive than what it was last game. Again, that game was 35-0. Shedeur got pulled late in the fourth quarter. I think that's the game folks was concerned that he might get hurt. A lot of crazy stuff happened in that game. Shedeur had 2 rushing TDs, one for like 46 yards, and then another one for about 22. So he wasn't his best game, but he did have a total of 3 touchdowns, and they were able to win that game 35-0. Now, Southern's on the offensive side of things for Southern, I just don't think they have enough, man. I just don't think they have enough, and I didn't pull up my stats about their scoring offense for the season.
Agreed.
What is this? Deshaun McCray. He's not the most accurate quarterback. He can cause problems with the broken plays, and Jackson State has been very suspect in dealing with the broken plays. I don't know if it was this game or one of the other games. We kind of talked about that off screen about how Jackson State shouldn't be so worried because most of the offensive yards that was gained was off broken plays. I want to say it was this game. But we talked about that on the phone about how Jackson State shouldn't worry about that, or their defensive coordinator, Dennis Thurman, just tell his guys to relax and make tackles, and then that's what they did in the second half. So I want to say that was this game.
Oh, yeah. I think the first quarter will tell you the game. If you let Southern hang around, that defense is going to get their fingers in the dirt and make something happen. But if Jackson comes out strong, which Jackson struggles with sometimes, this game going to be over. Like, I think Jackson, the first quarter will tell you the game, in my opinion. First quarter will tell you the game. If Jackson comes out fast, because Southern doesn't have it, like you just said, they don't have the ability to score like that. So if you let them hang around, defense is going to dig in and do what they do. But if you put them out early, you're going to have the quarterback making plays, and we haven't been seeing that all year long. But we have been seeing, if you let them hang around, defense is going to start creating turnovers. They're going to start getting going. And then all of a sudden, it's another football game. So I don't surmise that Jackson's going to fall prey to that, though. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the stats right now. Southern is number 2 in the conference at 32 points a game. But I think a lot of their points come off. Who did they blow out? They blew out PV. They ended up blowing out Grambling last week. Late second half blowout. Then they beat a team earlier this season like 95-0 or something like that. So their scoring prowess is kind of deceptive in my opinion.
Exactly.
they're giving up. They're allowing 19 points a game, but like I said, like Jackson State has not scored under 20 points only but once, and I think that was against Tennessee State. Everything else is 25 plus. So do you have enough firepower to play 60 minutes of football to put up 25 plus points without creating turnovers? I just don't see it for Southern. I see we got some Southern folks in here, so I appreciate it. Juice HD said Jags by 7. And he said it's hard beating the team twice. Yeah, we talked about that. I think Jackson State is just they're built differently, man. Again, we talked about Shedeur, we talked about Shiloh and Aubrey Miller. These guys want to go out and create history. And y'all know me how I always talk about how I love history. And I think these dudes have their eyes set on that same type of outcome, to go undefeated, to have a perfect season and go and win the Celebration Bowl. That's just my opinion. Score, I'll give my final score. As y'all can probably tell, I'm leaning towards Jackson. I'm sorry. As my dad asked the question, do I think Deion is leaving? If he does, he thinks some of the players will leave. I don't think he's leaving. I think it's good pub for HBCUs. I think it's good pub for the SWAC. If he does leave, yes, of course, some of the players are going. A lot of the players are going, in my opinion. But I've always said it probably in about 5 to 7 year range is where I'm at with Coach Deion being at Jackson State. But, we never know. We never know. Aaron says they're not leaving. It should have just released a New Jersey. Yeah, I saw that. Under Armour jersey. I just saw that. That's crazy. Jordan Williams is here. What up, everybody, man? Guy Patterson says, let's go SU. I'm going to open up the panel a little bit later. If you Southern folks want to come in and tell me why your team is going to win. No, Stevens. Yeah, we're going live, man. We're going live Saturday. And Jordan
All
Williams.
y'all Southern fans who want to come up and lie, come on up here and lie.
Joanna Williams says Southern defense cannot handle Wilkerson. Nobody has been able to handle this dude, man. He's a load. And he don't look like a load, but he's a load, man. He punishes you. Kind of like remember when Jerome Bettis used to play? He was so big, but he finished off his runs. That's the type of stuff I see from Wilker. Not as big, but he does, he brings it. He brings it, man. Fabian says, Coach Prom let Bethune come and use their practice fields. He want HBCUs to build themselves. See beyond just conference play and compete with D1 and Power 5. Will Nick Saban help Ohio? I don't know. Nick Saban, I don't know. I don't know the guy, so I'm not going to speculate like that with Nick Saban. Jason need to stop playing and pay the coaches more. Tex Coco, look, it's only so much, a school can pay somebody. And Jackson State did a good job this year of bringing in the money. So maybe that might change some things, right? But you got to have these sponsors. You got to have these, what do you call these? These donators, all these type of people to donate to the programs and things like that. But the money has going to continue to come in. Just as it's going out, it's got to come in, 3 times over. So, Jackson State is moving in the right direction. As long as Coach Prime is there, man, they've been selling out games across the board. They're top 5 across the nation in attendance. So they're moving in the right direction. So y'all kind of be patient with that, and hopefully they can kind of figure those things out. Deion ain't leaving his magic that he can do more with less. Deion has, you must mean facility-wise, he has a hellified team. And that's not a less team. That's a hellified team over there, and what they got with Travis Hunter, Aubrey Miller, Doyle, Wyman, Shane Hooks, Dallas Daniels, Willie Gaines, Shedeur. DJ Stevens. The list goes on, and they got a lot of guys.
Michael, Tito, Randy, Marlon.
We got a lot of folks that ain't even touched the field, man. Cordelius Davis can't even sniff the.
Man, my boy Quay can't get on the field, man.
He can't sniff the field, man. He can't even go out there and get his jersey dirty. That's how rough it is over there. So and they're getting richer, man. They're gonna get richer once the signing day happens, man. Dei's trying to get some more money for Jackson State. He's not going to. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine where he's at. And he's supposed to get offers, right? He's supposed to get offers. What he's doing over at Jackson State, he's supposed to get offers, right? Y'all should take it as a compliment. And APT says Wilkerson's remind me of Gary Brown. I don't know him play for the Oilers. That's a little throwback.
Oh yeah, I remember Gary Brown. Yep.
I don't remember that.
Bruiser. He's a bruiser.
Jackson State has a lot of big time players in games of this magnitude. So big time players will make big time plays. Yo, one of my favorite sayings, man. One of my favorite sayings. I will say this. Jackson State has been a little shaky on defending the run the last couple of weeks, in my opinion. Been a little shaky. And in this game that they played Southern, which might have been one of those games, Southern had 41 carries for 136 yards. That's not bad. So if you can kind of lean on that, and hopefully your main running back is Carl Ligon or Lejeune or whatever his name is. He had 17 carries for 66 yards. Not too shabby, right? Not the greatest numbers, but not too shabby. So you got to be able to keep Jackson State honest with the run game, right? And by doing that, you allow yourself to stay in the game a little more. So if you get into a pass-happy, pass-frenzy type of game with Jackson State, you're gonna get ran out the vet. You're absolutely gonna get ran out the vet. So Southern fans, if you're hoping Coach Dooley is, looking at some tape, seeing that they're a little shaky with defending the run the last couple of weeks, you kind of take that and you run with it, pun intended. What are your thoughts about that? Oh, he's still in here. I didn't switch screens. Oh, he got his mic muted. Tex Coco says they made the city $30 million. Yeah, and counting. And counting. Those awards going to inspire JC to play better for the next 2 games that we're. I ain't even kept up with the awards. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys got postseason accolades and stuff like that. I haven't kept up. I was gonna do multiple shows this week, man, but I had to. Man, I've been hustling, man. I got a ticket about a month ago, man, over some crazy stuff, man. Getting on the freeway illegally, man, because traffic was at a standstill and I had to get to the restroom. So, and then the state trooper pulled up behind me. But it is what it is. So I was bustling and hustling trying to get that done for the week. Texas State and Alabama A&M gave that work to JSU. Stan says, Texas State. They haven't played Texas State this year. They must be talking about basketball. Texas State, man. Shout out to Texas State if you're talking about basketball. My coach Johnson over there. That's my dude. I think that's why they got so many all SWAC, because their hardest battles are at practice. Yes. And if any coach would tell you, and I can revert back to my playing days. Practice was hard. Practice was way harder than the games. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from the teams that we played because we didn't have a great season. We should have. Our biggest downfall was immaturity. And as I, kind of go to the story, y'all make sure y'all hitting that thumbs up button, man. All right, the more thumbs up we get, the more it will get out on the YouTube algorithm. So y'all hit that thumbs up, and if you subscribe, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. But practice in college was so hard because you're playing against, speaking from basketball terms, you're playing against your guys, your teammates. It's 5-on-5. You're running the same stuff for the most part. You know everybody's tendencies. So practice was very, very hard, high intense. Drills was hard. You didn't want to run. Your team was always competing. So when you go out and you play the games are a lot easier. I mean, we lost a lot of games because of not having the leadership that we should have. But these dudes going back and forth at each other, Travis Hunter battling Chain Hooks and Willie Gaines and the list goes on, and Dallas Daniels each and every day, and then Shiloh matching up, and then the defensive lineman, Aubrey Miller, trying to tackle Wilkerson. They might not be doing it this much late in the season. But yeah, man, I mean, it's understandable. And they had a great season, so they deserve all the praise. They deserve all the accolades. Coach Prime made a private school in South Dallas, which is looked at as fifth ward of Houston or Brooklyn. He has a 98% graduation rate for underprivileged students, man. Yeah, I remember Prime. Is that still Prime? Remember he had Prime Academy back in the day, man. He had Prime Academy back in the day.
Prime Prep.
Prime Prep, man. I got to meet Dion, and me being my stubborn self, man, I didn't take a picture with him, man. I should have. Now, as life has made, a crazy full circle, man. I had a chance to take a picture with him. I didn't, but it is what it is. Bruce, it's time for the fans to apply pressure. Man, fans can say all they want, man, but, if the school ain't got the funds and you can't pay anybody. Nationwide, people would donate to JSU Cash App. I didn't know Jackson State had a Cash App, man. So if y'all know their Cash App, y'all donate to it. And I can donate to mine to it if you want to. Vail says, does anyone know if the businesses are even talking about tipping the coaching staff economic boost for $30 million last year, another $30 million for this year? That's a great question. That's a great, great question. What up? Crossky said, don't forget, hey, DeAndre, man, you might want to go back into hiding after that loss y'all had against Arkansas Pine Bluff. They wasn't even supposed to win a game in the conference this year. Y'all went up there and choked that thing away. Yeah, I see what you meant. Texas State, yeah, man. Shout out to Texas State. That's my dude. Media winners in the building. What up, Uncle Nelly on HBC? Watch Uncle Nelly on HBC again. He says a lot about the rumors and issues behind him staying at JSU. They're not doing a lot to keep him. They have not set up a booster fund like other schools. Well,
but it just depends on what his motivations are, though. I mean, because I think he understands that it's going to be a lot of deficiencies with little stuff like that. But what is he driven by? That's what I've always said about Coach Prime. Because obviously money, he took that Colorado job yesterday. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to delve a little deeper about what his motivation is. And I say that because I'm a salesman, man. You always got to find what people's drive is. And it ain't just necessarily because he ain't got the booster squad. It's like, what does he care about overall, though? Because he know he in some bullshit overall.
Yeah, and I think he's talked about that, about his one of his main motivations is helping these kids achieve their goals, whether it be to get to the NFL or, become a professional, whatever the case may be. Not all these guys are going to go to the NFL, but he wants to drive home the point that he wants all of them to go pro at some point. Y'all remember that little token NCAA commercial? Everybody can go pro, and I think Prime kind of ingratiates that into his core values of like making sure these kids are successful not only on the field but off the field as well. So I think that's one of his biggest points with being at an HBCU. Now, of course things change, man. Like somebody give you $11 million a year, you ain't stupid not to look and listen. Y'all remember what Ray Charles said, "Mama didn't raise no fool." In the movie Ray.
But he said he will always entertain other offers. He said, he'd be a fool not to. So I mean, we got to know Coach Prime ain't gonna say the SWAC, man. At some point, he gonna take the offer that he wants. So we got to just prepare our hearts for that, man. It's gonna
happen. Man, people are gonna go crazy. What's weird? Somebody came in on this stream, I think last week, and said, "What if Coach Prime decides he wants to be the commissioner of the SWAC one day?" And I'm like, dude, that didn't even cross my mind. But what if Dr. Charles McClellan decides he wants to be out and they're looking for a SWAC commissioner? What would be the likelihood of Shedeur Sanders taking over as a SWAC commissioner?
I think that'd be awesome, but I don't think that's what he wants. I think he wants to coach. I think he wants to touch a direct program because that's where he's at as far as his development. But no, that'd be awesome, from an overall recruiting standpoint, if he could, as far as getting partnerships and things of that nature. That'd be awesome if he did that. I just don't think he's moved by that just yet. I think he wants to dominate coaching first. Yeah,
and shout out to Sharon. But what up, Sharon? Sharon's always saying they received about 10 All-SWAC conference accolades. Mata was second team, if you can believe that. Travis did. Didn't get any because he didn't play no games. Yeah, man, and we know we didn't even talk about Travis Hunter and how his development over this past, let's say, month and a half since he's been back. And the plays that he has made, because without him the last game, they don't win that game. He had a pick six, he had a touchdown, a great catch in the end zone, right? And a couple of plays before that, he had one on the sideline that was just special. And that's just the word I use for this kid. He's special. I think you have dubbed him as a pro already. I try not to use that just
pro.
So yeah.
Pro. That boy good.
That's a bad boy. I mean, like, we getting old when I can just say, man, that's a bad boy. That's son of a gun there, boy. I mean, he's just special. It's special, and there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. He's special, and we haven't even talked about the impact that he could probably have in this game, as far as just shutting down one side of the field. Like I said, I don't think Southern's quarterback is the best here. I don't think he's the worst either. But with you basically having one side of the field not accessible, it makes it very, very difficult. It makes it even more difficult and when you're a struggling passing team, when you're a struggling passer. So that in itself, with Travis Hunter playing on that side of the field, gives the leg up to Jackson State even more. So Southern fans, I want y'all to believe, right? I want y'all to take Jackson State's mantra and say, I believe. I want y'all to take it and believe, but I'm just going to say this. You can believe all you want. I don't think y'all win in this game.
Yeah, I guarantee you. I'm going to guarantee y'all, yeah. Unless Jackson gets, Lord forbid, some injuries or just play the worst first half known to man, I can't see it. I'm sorry. That Grambling win was not impressive to me. And you're only as good as your last game. And y'all, I can't see it.
It was not. And again, if Grambling runs the ball, then don't put the ball into the hand of a young quarterback, they probably win that game. And like you said, if they capitalize on the mistakes that Southern was having in the first, let's say 22 minutes of that game, it's not even close. It's not even close. Grambling wins that game easily. And then, of course, you had the young knucklehead trying to block the punt, which just kind of, destroyed all momentum Grambling had. And now they're playing from behind. Now you got to put the ball in the hands of a young man who was not used to being in that position. Shout out to James Houston, got signed by the Lions on more practice squad. Yeah, he should have been signed. Especially after, get called up. You have 2 sacks and a fumble recovery in your first NFL game. Easily, you're picking at the right time. Jackson State will make $4.8 million from the SWAC championship game. That's 60K tickets at $80. Ooh, boy, out here doing math. My dad says, I believe his goal is to try to bring the SWAC and HBCUs up to the level of other conferences, especially if they get the financial support. Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
I would say don't hold your breath on financial support. Listen, man, I'm a little cynical because I've been around the SWAC too long. Dog. And let me say this. There's a lot of goofy people are kind of anticipating Prime leaving so they can dump on them.
Yeah.
That's the SWAC culture, dog. People, I swear to God, like they want Prime to do everything. They want him to give his life. They want him to give 20 years of service. And they want, this man can't have his own timeline of what he wants to contribute. Mm-hmm. And all I keep saying is in 2.5 years, now I'm going to lose some of y'all. In 2.5 years, Prime has done more than Jackson can do for 30 years on their own. Let me say that again. In 2.5 years, Prime has done more than Jackson can do for 30 years on their own. And listen, man, appreciate this man while he's a part of our conference, because when he leaves, we're going to be right back to the same old sugar, honey, iced tea. Y'all read between the lines. Mm-hmm. And we just got to appreciate it. And that's why, me personally, I appreciate what he's doing so much, even though I'm not a Jackson State fan by the furthest stretch of imagination. I'm PV all day. However, I know this is special. This is something that you're not going to see for a long time. How Lil Wayne say, this is special. Some issue you may not see again. This is what it is, man. Like, he won't be here forever, man. And it would behoove everybody just to appreciate it, no matter what school you repping in SWAC or HBCU for that matter, because it's something you ain't going to see again, man. And, I don't want to be redundant, but it's just something to be marveled at, man, because this is crazy where this program has gone right now with such little resources. It's just with a personality, basically, of where this has gone.
Yeah, and me and you have been pretty much on the same page since the start of this, man. We take for granted of what is happening, and I don't know if it's because of selfish reasons or whatever the case may be, but we're not understanding that how good it is right now. It's not, like you said, it's not going to get any better than what it is unless I don't even know what kind of personality you can bring in to compete with a Coach Prime, as far as the personality, as far as the charisma, as far as the ability to relate to these kids and their culture and things like that.
You ready? You ready?
Nobody.
It would take Drake to come in and be the SWAC ambassador to equal what Coach Prime can do. Marinate on that. It would take Drake. He got some Southern ties, and people like Drake. It would be a Drake. Like, what else? What other football entity could do this that Coach Prime's doing?
Not a soul. And you know what's crazy that you mentioned Drake? I'm surprised he ain't made his way down there yet. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he ain't made his way down to Jackson yet. Something fishy. So probably next year, if he ain't Drake is gonna find his way to attach to something to it there. He's gonna, and I'm not mad.
That's facts.
I'm not mad at him for it, man. I'm not mad at him for it at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make. Roger Jones says Ray Lewis. Even Ray Lewis, I don't know.
No.
I just don't know, man. He might resonate with the parents a little more. He might resonate with the grandparents a little more because of his, his
Christian beliefs,
Christian background and stuff like that. But far as the charisma and Coach Prime still having the swag, which is the word I hate using, but he still is able to relate to these kids in a certain way. And he has two sons that's in this era of kids. He has two kids. He has two kids so they're helping him and he's helping them. So this is about as good as it's going to get in the SWAC. So folks should really, really appreciate what's happening. That says give my dad on. I don't know if dad want to come up. He might want to come up. HBCUs are located in the Black Rural. Yeah, I'm gonna put the stream link up if anybody want to come in and speak their pieces. We had some Southern fans in here earlier, man. So if y'all got you want to speak your piece, man, come in here. Just copy that. Pull it up, man.
Don't come up here and start lying.
Open panel, man. Open panel. You have to be a good coach as well as having the charisma. Yes, man. You have, and that's the crazy thing is Florida State and a lot of these other schools didn't want to take a chance on Coach Prime because he didn't have the coaching experience, right? But I throw this out. You look at the Indianapolis Colts. They gave a job to a dude who what was he doing? Jeff Saturday was doing. He was doing something.
He was doing like announcing, like color commentary. Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, and they gave a job. So and I always say this. Yes, you want to hire somebody with some experience. We got Boss Villain in here. You want to hire somebody with some experience. But at some point, everybody didn't have coaching experience. That's the same thing like when you go to a job interview. Oh, we want to hire somebody with some experience, man. But then I wouldn't be here. I'm trying to get the experience. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have the experience.
That's a fair point. Fair point.
So it's a very tricky slope, but I can see Florida State and other schools are kicking themselves in the butt as we got Boss Villain in the building. What's up? What you got for us, man?
What's up, man? What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
What's the deal, bro?
Yeah, man. The reason why I think Prime ain't leaving is because it's like Prime pull is because he had an HBCU doing FBS things. If he go to a FBS school, he gonna be behind Nick Saban and all them other coaches. But he's the number one coach in the SWAC, no matter what.
He's the big fish in the small pond.
Yeah, he like and then another thing is this too, right? Like he said the reason why Prime the reason why he can't come out and just say I ain't going nowhere is because the people that's trying to recruit him is a part of his recruitment tool. All these schools trying to get Prime, that's a part of his recruitment. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and another thing is too, and the reason why he's saying that he gonna entertain because he got to keep JSU. It's almost like how LeBron James do things. Like he signed these little 1 year, 2 year deals to keep the team understanding. Like, look, y'all gonna have to do something, or he gonna have to have some power. And I think that he just signed a contract with Prime Video, man. How he gonna leave when he got a whole documentary type series thing coming up for Jackson State? That's going if he leave, he don't know how many people just gonna be like, man, we done with you, Prime. We ain't watching that shit. Because whether y'all look at it or not, black people gonna be mad if Prime leave Jackson State.
No, absolutely.
Like, we gonna be mad. Like, I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Like, we gonna be like mad. You feel me? Like, that's what you gonna do? We want you to be at Jackson State, and what we want you to do in a couple years, we want you to take Jackson State and start beating the Alabamas and shit. That's what we want you to do. We don't want you to come to Jackson State for a couple years and then leave. When all the FBS schools turned their back on you when you was trying to get into college football from the jump in the first place. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's leaving. I just think that he said it at a press conference the other day. He said, and then he wanted a long thing on how he feel about Jackson State. Basically saying, like, Jackson State, y'all ain't got nothing to worry about, man. But I can't say that I'm staying because that'll mess up opportunities that we getting with players, recruitment, I got to stay hot. I got to stay wanted. Because if I stay wanted, then that add on to us. I don't think he's leaving, man.
Fam, I'm gonna help you out in the listening.
And then he got one more thing. Then he got 3 kids.
He does have 3.
He got a daughter playing for Jackson State, 2 sons playing for Jackson State. Like, what is he gonna tell his kids? Like, what he gonna be like? Oh, y'all, I'm leaving Jackson State. After Shedeur didn't sign what's the name deals with local people, like with the barbecue sauce. That's a local Jackson State thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I said that. Go ahead. Oh.
All right, I'm gonna just keep it funky, dog. Because again, I'm a SWAC guy through and through. For you, brother, and the listening populace, man, listen, man. Coach Prime has his own timeline. Coach Prime don't owe Jackson State nothing more than he gave Jackson State already, bro.
You right.
He done boost that economy more than any named coaches you can bring through there. So I'm with you, though. I hope he stayed because it's good for the SWAC overall. I want people to keep talking about Jackson State on, First Take and on Undisputed. Like, that's good. Like, I really want that for this conference. However, that man timeline is that man timeline.
You right about that, but check it out, man. Hey, fam, but check it out, right? We remember
that's all I'm saying, bro.
Remember the speech he gave at Jackson State when he first came?
No, what'd he say?
The I Believe speech when he first started saying that.
Yeah, I remember.
And he gave that speech talking about God. He came to Jackson State over George Floyd, and God brought him to Jackson State. That's what he said.
I remember that.
Agreed.
So all I'm saying is if he leaves after 2 years, after 2.5 years, that's almost like you just what you gaslighted us.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Let me say this real quick, Will.
It's like you ain't a man of your word. Let's just get it real, right?
All right, fair enough. But
because he knew the money wasn't going to be like a Power 5. He knew that.
Bro, I got you, family. So here's what this turns into, though. How many years is enough years? After 5, man, you could have gave us 6, dog. You could have gave us 7. So you got to kind of temper your expectation to reality.
I think until Shedeur, matter of fact, until Bossy does.
See how you projected on him, though. Yeah. So he gonna let you down, bro, because he gonna determine when you want to leave, dog.
He ain't gonna leave his daughter.
Well, his daughter
leave his daughter down there.
His daughter can transfer, man.
The transfer portal.
That's easy, dog.
Like I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all. she ain't good enough to be transferred. Like, she ain't good enough.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
She's not good enough for that, man.
True story. All I can say is, man.
And if he go to an FBS school, you think he gonna be able to have rappers in the locker room, man?
Hell yeah. Yes.
Man, they ain't going for that shit, man.
Yes, they will.
If any FBS school,
come on, man.
If any FBS school wants Coach Prime, they're gonna have to allow him to be him.
Yup.
Yes.
They're gonna have to give him the keys.
They're gonna have to allow him to be him. I want to say the keys. They're gonna have to allow him to be himself, and as pure, genuine, authentic self. That's why he can't go to a school like UT because the boosters are just too strong. All right, Colorado is a school. Yeah, okay, we'll let you do you. But in my opinion, he's not going to Colorado.
Yeah, don't nobody want to go up to Colorado.
Yeah, I don't see why he would take that one. But UT though, if you remember, Coach Herm Edwards was getting grills and stuff. So I mean, it's possible to kind of break the mold because one thing these schools are learning is you got to get up with the times. You have to get up with the times, and Coach Prime has shown when he flipped Travis Hunter, he changed the game. I'm sorry. He did. You got a guy to come to the SWAC who is the #1 overall prospect.
Yeah.
Like that is not to be underestimated. I know we got guys like J.A. Rice.
But if he'd have got Travis Hunter to come to Colorado, it wouldn't have been a big deal.
It would not have been because that's a quote unquote Power 5 school.
Yeah.
Prime shine is the point that he had a HBCU doing FBS thing.
Agreed.
That's his
Absolutely. And like folks said, you can't mimic. And I think DJ Ron Cut did a video about this earlier, which I need to go check out. But I just want to bring this point. You can't mimic the experience that you have at an HBCU, man. I went to Stephen F. Austin. I remember they was like, man, we're at HBCU of East Texas. And I'm like, no, we're not. Stephen F. Austin is like PWI. When I first got there, it was a whole bunch of white folks. Towards it started trickling more and more to black folks coming there, but the experience is not the same. I remember I used to go with Hoop to PV homecoming, and it's just a whole different experience. So what these kids are getting at these HBCUs, man, and the understanding that it's just not about partying and stuff like that. These HBCUs are really, really good institutions, and a lot of folks, I think, a lot of kids don't really understand that until they get there. And so allowing him to have these type of kids, Travis Hunter probably didn't know about this, especially even Shedeur has said it. It was after a game. He's like, man, y'all look around. Look at 60,000 people, my people. Like, you can't get that anywhere else going to UT. You're not going to see 60,000 black folks at UT. Yep. Right? You're going to see triple in there. Yep. So, like I said, I'm sticking to my range 5 to 7 years of what he's going to give you that.
I'll give you that.
That's about right.
I'll give you that 5 to 7 years. I can see that. But I think that that if Jackson State pay him, I think that if some type of way Jackson State could start paying him at least $5 million to $6 million a year, because they say that's what the offer from what's the name was. Colorado. I think if Jackson State can start paying him that, I don't think he's going nowhere never. I think he's just going to because he running Jackson State, man. Let's just keep it real, man. Like he like the even though A.D. Robinson, Coach Prime is the real AD of Jackson State, man. Let's just keep it real, man.
Yeah, I would say this also. We need to take into account that Coach Prime does have some health issues, and I hate the fact that we migrated over to this conversation. I should have labeled this as Coach Prime, believe it or not. But he does it. He has 2 toes amputated. He has to do certain things almost every single day, and that wears and tears on your body. As a coach, man, physically trying to, get up and coach these games or, go to somebody's house and visit them and stuff like that. So we have to take into account his health. If his health continues to allow him to be the coach that he wants to be, then yes, we can, count that in for a long one. But if, things change, he's 55, I think, or 56, something like that, which is not technically old, but, having blood clots and having to have your
that's serious. That's serious.
That's something to take into account for. So we have to kind of, again, as we can circle this all the way back around, we all need to just appreciate what's going on right now.
I think the reason why a lot of people was into the recruitment of Prime is I just think that sometimes people get a little what I mean by that selfie. Instead of looking at what he's doing for the whole SWAC, people like other schools, they hate Jackson State so much that they just want Prime the league. They want him to leave.
Yeah, and why not? Why not?
Yeah, but why not? But what you ain't understanding is just like them kids that made that video at Southern. Was that Southern that made the video in the locker room?
That was Southern. Yep.
Right, just like them. Y'all don't. The thing about it is y'all don't even know that Prime could literally be your catalyst to the next level. He could literally be the person to say, yeah, tell somebody in the NFL, yeah, he good. Or tell somebody in the NFL, no, he was cussing at me when I was walking around at halftime at Alabama State.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And like a lot of people ain't looking at it that way. I ain't saying you gotta bow down to Brown because of what he doing for the SWAC, but you gotta show some respect there though, man.
Yeah,
well, it's like y'all gotta show some respect.
It's all about.
He don't allow his players to do no shit like that.
No, he doesn't. It's all about, the environment and when you get to college, man, as a young man, a young lady or whatever, you kind of forget some of the things you probably was taught. And my mom and dad both are in here right now. But they've always told me, like, man, the pen is mightier than the sword. And it's been true. It's one of the truest statements you can do. And I'll tie that into saying that when you put something out on video, there's no deleting it. Once it gets through that social media world, man, and you try to go back, you can go back and delete it, but it's too late. It's too late.
Did you see how they treated Brown when he was walking around at Alabama State?
It was bad.
It felt like he was a black person walking through the Jim Crow South. That's what it felt like to me. I'm like,
hold on, I gotta keep it real.
They got caught up in the moment, man. They got caught up in the moment.
I gotta keep it real. When I played basketball at PV, that's kind of the culture though, dog. When we went to Alabama A&M, man, old people calling you everything except the son of God, right?
Yeah, they was on him, man.
That's the culture. Like Grambling, when they had that small sweatbox gym, calling you everything but the name of God. The child of God. So that's kind of SWAC culture. Like, so Prime ain't immune to that. So you gonna get people talking that crazy. If you go play at Southern, what they call the M15, that section over there, they're gonna be on your head the whole game. So it's kind of a rite of passage too to get kind of clowned or talked down too crazy. Because that's how the SWAC is, dog. Like, let's be for real now.
I just think they got caught up in the moment.
It's a difference, though. Like, let's keep it real, y'all. It's a difference between fan and what they was doing. Like, they was really like they wanted to do something to him. That's how they was acting. Like,
bro,
I'm
telling you the same thing I experienced as a player, dog. Like, we had to literally fight ourselves out of Grambling Gym. When we was at Alabama A&M, literally on some cuss the fans out stuff to get back at them.
For real?
Because they were that ruthless. Yes, absolutely. 2005, 2006, we had Obi Trotter. What's my man? Trent Sampson. Alabama A&M was the shit back then. So I'm only telling you what I've seen with my own two eyes. Like the SWAC can get like that. So, you know what I'm saying? And Prime ain't immune, so I want to impart that upon the conversation.
I feel you.
Yeah, it do get like that in the trenches, bro.
Yeah, man. Folks, like I said, I just think they got caught up in the moment, man. Again, it's so hard now. Well, no, it's not hard. You have to be aware of cameras at all times, especially with somebody like you got to know Coach Prime has a camera crew following him. You got to know that. You got to be on your toes and understand, okay, if I'm going to say this to this dude, and you seen the cameraman walk with him, more than likely my voice and my face is going to get caught up on this camera. So you take into account for that. If you're going to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you do it, you have to, be aware of the circumstances that come with that. And Juice HD said that was a bad decision by those few players, but he said Shiloh made a video dissing SU too. I hadn't seen that video. He said y'all don't talk about that. I haven't seen that.
See, that's the culture, bro. That's SWAC culture. I'm telling you, I know it. So let me say this before you move forward. I tell the story all the time how, like, my junior year, we beat Grambling on ESPN. We were the worst team in SWAC. Grambling's number one, number two. I can't remember. Jackson and Grambling were 1 and 2. Both of them had like two top scorers. Jackson had Trey Johnson, number 2 scorer in America. Grambling had Breon Rush, number 3 scorer in America. So before the game, bro, like national television, we almost got another fight after we went to Grambling. We lost in their little small gym. So they came to our place and we almost fought before the game with ESPN cameras there. So I mean, it's like, I've seen it, bro. Like, I've seen it, dog.
Those get the bucking, dog. Those get the bucket, man.
When you caught up in the moment, man. So I'm just telling you what I know.
Yep. Yeah. Again, man, I've always just kind of been aware of that kind of stuff. But, everybody is not like that. I want to get back to Mariana. He said, who would have predicted JSU versus Southern? Only Jackson State and Southern fans, to be honest. I actually thought, after seeing PV beat TSU first game of the season, I thought Prairie View was going to do enough which they did.
Yeah.
Prairie View
just lost the Valley.
Prairie View should be playing in this.
Yes, they should.
SWAC championship game. I thought they did enough with their run game that they could run the SWAC East, literally run the SWAC East through their run game. But that's not technically what happened. Again, they lost the Valley, and they were hoping that Grambling can beat Southern to get in this game. So I don't know. I guess
it was real interesting, man. I ain't gonna lie. It was real interesting. That whole thing was real entertaining.
Yeah, no, it's good parody, man, for the West. You know what? I gotta say this because I really, really do not like FAMU fans. I wish there's a way FAMU could be in this championship game, even though they got their doors blown off. So I mean, I don't feel too bad for them. But they did. That's the only game they lost this week. So I gotta give them props, dog. I gotta give FAMU their props, and it's unfortunate that they seasons come to an end.
Yeah, and they're one of the main fan base that is kind of pushing to not have size anymore. Just basically take the best two out the conference, which is an interesting, idea. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's unfortunate for them. They have to play Jackson State the very first game of the season, and that, for the most part, that decides who wins the SWAC East these last 2 years, man.
Thanks.
So it's just a tough situation, as APT says, man. Y'all hit that like button. Yeah, man, y'all hit that like button.
Yep.
And Vel said, what year was that? I guess he's talking about
2005, 2006. 05, 06 was that year.
Yeah, that's man. What? It's been 3 or 4 fights this season alone. Who's Southern and was it Texas Southern and PV got in the fight? I believe before the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Southern and somebody else got in the fight. Southern and Jackson State got in a little scuffle last season after the game was over with. So, that's not something you want to see your players do, ever. But it does happen, man. It does happen. Again, we got to remind ourselves we're dealing with 18 to 23, 24-year-old young men, man, who testosterone is through the roof. They're amped up for the game. And you're not thinking about the consequences of getting in a fight on campus during the game, cameras on. You're not thinking about that. You're just caught up, and especially if you're like, how some of me and my friends were like, man, if one fight, we all fight. Like, that's the so if your teammate is fighting, you might have some dudes like, nah, I ain't no part of that. But yeah, most of the times you're gonna have your riders with you. So I see how people can get caught up. Bruce Garrett says getting caught up don't make it right to curse at a coach. Yeah, man. I had a little back and forth with a high school coach, man, Coach Smith. You remember Coach Smith at the coach at Aldine?
Aldine, yeah.
I used to go back and forth with him, and it was never to the point where I was cussing at him. But me, as a player, I was 17, 18-year-old kid. I used to go back and forth with this high school coach. He shouldn't have been going back and forth with me. It was very harmless, man. Aldine was our rival school. And, those games are always a little more special. But, man, I used to go back and forth with him, man. And I look back at that, though. What the H was I doing, man? Well,
here's the thing. We're not saying it's right. We're just saying what the culture is. Yeah. We're not saying it's right. It's just what it is. That's my only point. I understand the culture because I've been in it. And I also coached at Prairie View. So I've seen a lot of effery. So I don't approach it from a lofty standpoint. I just approach it from a realistic standpoint, because this is what you will encounter with what you can encounter in these situations, and here's why. Because some players get caught up in the moment, they lose themselves, and you got to know everybody got a complex about Jackson. Coach Prime, they got Coach Prime, you don't. So you know it's gonna be a situation
right.
where like you trying to talk yourself up, for the game because you know why the
SWAC competitive. Like the way I seen the SWAC this year, the SWAC was real competitive this year, man. Like Jackson State, even though they won every game, they wasn't just running through everybody. Because every team that played Jackson State, they came to play, man.
Yeah, man, you're the cream of the crop. You want to be the team to say that you beat Jackson State in the Coach Prime era, right? Just think about that. Just think about that.
Play.
You want to be the team to beat Jackson State in the Coach Prime, and you want to be the first team to beat. They've lost, right? They've lost in the Coach Prime era, but do we really? Well, we have to count that. We have to count that because they played the 2020 season, that shortened season, so we have to count that. If we're going to be honest. Now, most folks might not count it, just like they don't count the bubble ring and all this other stuff. But if I'm just going to be honest, man, they went 3-3 or 3-4 in that shortened season in the spring of 2020.
Yeah. So
but right now, in the last 2 years, nobody has been able to figure out this beast that is Jackson State.
Ever since Prime implemented his because that season, that 3-3. That was who was there when he got there.
Yeah, it makes sense. He didn't have his guys. And this is why I said for Gremlin folks to kind of relax. I think Coach Hugh Jackson kind of came into that same situation. He didn't get a full recruiting season with this group or whatever. Shout out to Fabian Robinson with a great comment. Black people have to make it their business to improve what's black as long as blacks give speeches about a strike against black males, etc. I'm with you. Krosky's still going off about his team. JSU versus FAMU should be the last game of the season. Somebody said it is the last game. Who said that? Play at the end of the season next year. Okay. So they made some changes, and shout out to Big Country says, bro, keep it simple because the big time bloggers watching, taking what you talking about, man. It's happened, man. It is what you know what? I found some videos on here, and Media One, not Media One, HBCU band. He takes some videos and puts this on the channel, which is fine. But there's some other people I've never even heard of, never even came to the channel, man. They got some of my videos on their channel. I'm like, bro, it's
what happened? Hold on, what happened?
It's some random channels, man, that have some of my videos on their channel as theirs, which is whatever.
Of you talking?
I didn't look at what it was. I could just see through the copyright thing or whatever. The little copyright tab on the YouTube studio, I seen it on there, man. So I didn't.
Crazy. Strike their channel. I'll put their heads.
I should, man, but it's all good, man. So we had an hour and 8 minutes. So to kind of sum this all up, Southern fans, I was hoping somebody from Southern would come up here. They were in here, man. If y'all still got time. You still got time to come up and plead your case for your team.
Come on up here and lie.
I just don't think Southern has enough, man. And
you know me, I'm a fool with it, man. I'm gonna just say what's up. We're gonna be nice. I'm trying to be the politically correct, man. I want people to believe it. I want people to believe in their teams, man. There's nothing wrong with that. And like I've said before, any given Saturday, this is the championship game. Southern is playing for, they're playing for bragging rights as well, man. And they got nailed, right? They had 0. Houston, Texas, they got 0 last game, 35-0, man. When Shedeur got pulled and the backup quarterback came in and threw a touchdown pass. So your pride is on the line. Eric Dooley, you don't want to go 0-2 in the SWAC championship game against Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, ain't about what he want.
He's fortunate enough to be in this situation to have a redemption.
And tell you the truth, man, it might be worse. It might be worse, man. Because Shedeur didn't have one of them games against them.
Hey, like one of my favorite movies say, Harlem Nights. No, take this ass whooping personally.
They was definitely a couple drop balls away from having about 56.
Exactly.
Yeah. They again, Shedeur was 18 of 33. Shout out to Kevin Pryor. Kevin, man, come on up, man. I know you got something for me. Come on up. I know you want to say something. I'll put the stream link back in the comments. But yeah, it was 35-0. Shedeur had 2 rushing touchdowns, one for like 47, something like that, which is probably that's probably the best I've seen him run, because I don't think he's the best athlete I've ever seen. But he gets the job done enough. But I think if Jackson State really wants to pummel this team and leave no doubt, as my guy Herman Boone, shout out to Remember the Titans, one of my favorite movies, run up the score. They can literally run up the score by just handing the ball off to Wilkerson.
We actually met Herman Boone. Remember that senior year of high school?
I don't remember, man. I don't remember.
Remember we went to school. We went to U of H, and he was up there.
Oh, I don't remember that. Oh my God. Dang, I don't remember that. No, I don't. I do not remember that at all. Dang, wow.
I met Herman Boone, and I met Coach Carter. Coach Carter came to Prairie View when that movie was out. He came to our locker room and gave us a pregame speech. We still lost. But I met both of them dudes, man. It's in my lifetime.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Bruce Garrett says Southern got something for Jackson State. This will be heard around the world. Bruce Garrett, man, come up here. Don't just put it in the comments. You ain't got to turn your camera on.
Jackson.
Man, just come up here and speak your case, man.
Got
speak
what?
Your case. Got an extra game in. That's what they got.
Get some cardio in. Cardio for Jackson.
Ezra says this brother does a good show. Yeah, man, y'all hit the cash. I ain't even mentioned the cash app today, man. I ain't even mentioned the cash app. We did get Kev to come up, man. What up, Kev?
What's good, fellas? What's the word, man?
What up, Kev?
Not much, man. Not much. Talking, trying to map out and give hope, give some hope to this Jackson State, to these Southern guys versus this juggernaut that is Jackson State this weekend.
You know what? This is, obviously we're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds, right? And on paper, this shouldn't even be a game. I mean, Craig can't even throw for 100 yards. But with all this talk going on, man, you guys play ball, right? When all this talk happening with Prime, and you got young kids, man, anything is possible, man. It's this real sketchy, with just getting ready for a big game and your coaches. It's crazy. But, I mean, Jackson should still win the game. But certainly, man, young kids, man, minds ain't right, unfold. It can be real. It can kind of
Yeah, but this is why I'm saying, because you said that, I'm saying that Shedeur, Shiloh, Aubrey Miller, Malachi Wyman, even though he's not playing, and then the rest of those guys, they have unfinished business. They had a chance to win the Celebration Bowl and only having one loss last year. And now here you are, undefeated. You're right on the cusp of your goal. I just think that they're going to lock in, and this might be one of the best games we see from Jackson State.
No doubt. I mean, again, talent-wise, it shouldn't even be a game.
That's devastating.
But when you think about it, again, it's hard to be a team twice in a year. So I think Southern will play with some pride. But I think, obviously, if you just go by talent, apples to apples, there's no – I mean, listen, it is what it is. I wouldn't bet no money on it. But I just know just from experience – when you have distractions. If you think about last weekend, right? Think about all the teams in college football that had coaching issues. Cincinnati lost. Who else was there? What was the other coach? A couple other situations that the coaches were like looking at other jobs and players didn't lock in. Liberty lost because of Hugh Freeze. Again, we're talking about young kids, and I'm just saying it. I don't think Jackson State will lose, but I think all this talk has had some effect. I really believe that, because again, when you think about it from a player's perspective, it's hard to think about, okay, what's going to happen Sunday?
Yeah.
We know the transfer portal opens up on Monday, so it's going to be an interesting weekend in Jackson. I really
think
hope
Prime
he
already
stays,
told
man.
him though.
Huh?
I think Prime already told him.
I hope so. I hope he stays, man. But it's just some people I know in the industry that are telling me that deal is done, and I hate to say that because I can't see him. That doesn't look like him out there. You know what I mean? That's just, I can't see Prime in Boulder, Colorado. But I don't know, man. I mean, think about it from a business perspective for a minute. Taking the fandom out. They've been really quiet in Colorado, and nobody say nothing. You mean tell me if I had a deal set with somebody as a business guy and he let the beans out and I don't say nothing about it? Wait a minute, because Colorado, they were like, wait a minute, we just going to rescind the offer. We felt like we were being played. Nobody said nothing. That's the scary part about it. I mean, nobody said a
one
word.
of the coaches.
Nah, man, they
want Prime. They don't want.
Yeah,
his
they don't want no
disciple,
Dennis
man.
Thurman,
Yeah.
man. No,
They want the real deal. They want the Prime real. They want the big Angus steak. All that.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're gonna have to wait and see. And you're right that as a young kid, playing, I probably would have been distracted if my coach was getting, hearing that my coach is, possibly leaving or he's entertaining this and that, because that's leaving questions. You're getting it from everybody. You're probably getting it from family. You're getting it from the people on campus. You're getting it from your girlfriend. So, has Coach Prime said anything to y'all? What do you know? Now you're questioning. You're questioning everything about yourself, and especially if you came there for Coach Prime. Okay, now if I go to enter the transfer portal, who's going to want me? So
that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, yo. That's what I'm saying. Especially he talking about he there for because God sent him and all that. Like,
but no,
it ain't gonna be the same, man.
We seen preachers do worse.
Xavier Smith in the building. That's what's up.
Right, but we ain't following Prime to Colorado, man. I'm just gonna keep it real.
not many are.
Like Prime fan base gonna take a real hit if he leaves Jackson State, man.
I don't think so.
Especially from black people.
I don't think so.
I think so.
What he is
so.
That they bought into his personal brand, and once you get over the feelings part, it's only Jackson people gonna feel milk.
Yeah,
it's a whole conference full of other people who gonna follow him. So y'all, but us are going, other SWAC folks don't understand. So I don't think so. And secondly, damn, I lost my train of thought. Damn, I had it too. I come back around to that second part I had. But yeah, I mean, like, he's not gonna be there forever, man. And so it's his prerogative to do so, man. And I'm not mad at him, bro. He elevated this conference more than any coach single-handedly not named Eddie Robinson. Sorry, not Eddie Curran Robinson, Eddie G. Robinson.
Yeah, no doubt. I was listening to the pregame show, Neely and them guys. They had the guy on that runs the Celebration Bowl, and man, if you can read between the lines, like, please keep Dion at Jackson. Because you talk about money falling out of his pocket in Atlanta, man. If Prime leaves on Sunday, that's the part that hurts me as somebody who loves this space, and like, to not coach in the Celebration Bowl, because he couldn't do it. He would have to go. You can't deal with the transfer portal on December 5th. You would have to move on to that job.
Oh, so you saying he got to make that decision? He got to make the decision by Sunday.
He got to make that decision. Monday starts the floodgates. College free agency opens up Monday. Yeah. So you can't be at one job trying to get recruit. I mean, he could try to do two jobs maybe, but I don't know, man. It's the whole thing.
Because he really wants that Celebration Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the way he's
but he would have to work both jobs then, because you got all those transfers will be gone by the 19th, the 17th of December. So you're gonna have to do that. Now there are coaches who have done that.
and somebody said that he telling recruits that he'll be at a school on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't say what school, right?
Yeah, he didn't say what school, but they said he telling recruits that he will be at a school on Sunday.
Won't be on somebody's campus.
Gentlemen, business, man. This is how business rolls, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
We won't come forever. I get it.
Yeah.
I can't see it, man.
This is business, man.
Even though you saying feelings and emotions and all that is in there, if you a man of principle, like Prime say he is, he can't do it. He can't
How
do
long?
it.
It's enough.
I know y'all saying money and all that, but I'm just saying if he a man of his word and principle, ain't no way he leaving Jackson State.
He never said he's not gonna leave Jackson State, though, bro.
You know, he been prepping
But he
this.
said that God gave him a collect call.
And he gonna say God told him to go to Boulder.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. Don't be a kid, bro. Don't be a little kid when you're that.
He
Like I said,
even used George Floyd's name, man.
Man, you know,
It doesn't matter. It's not a
like
timeline, bro.
Like I've said, man, we've seen pastors do worse.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
I understand all. I understand all that.
We
But
won't.
don't Prime always preach like he a man of his word? Don't he?
He never
He
gave
always
you a
said
timeline.
things like that.
But look, but Bass, think about it. He when he did the 60 Minutes episode, right? He's coming out saying, you know what? If I get an offer, I'm gonna have to listen to it. That's just like your lady, right? You dealing with a girl, and she say, you know what? I like you, but if this brother here making $300K come my way, then you know I might have to like move you out of the picture. So they pretty much telling you in so many words, I like you, we rock together, but you know I'm not guaranteeing I'm gonna be here forever. Case in point with the football thing, he gonna come out and say, you know what? I built you a practice facility. I gave up my salary to build a locker room. I got college game day there. I brought millions of dollars to Jackson, Mississippi.
Yep.
He gonna use all that. In his mind, he gonna say, "Yo, mission accomplished."
Yeah, but he ain't gonna, his pull
To you,
because he had
You
the
know.
HBCU. He ain't gonna. I'm telling you, man, he ain't gonna have that. He ain't gonna have this type of pull if he leave Jackson State.
Dion been
He
dealing
ain't
with
gonna
white folks for the last 35 years.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of rooms. You know what? I'll refer to this. Y'all remember the dude that used to be in the car giving all the advice to the women? What was his name?
The
big guy. And he came out and found out he's cheating on his wife.
Oh, Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson, right?
Yeah.
He still has a big following.
Yeah.
He still has a big following.
He still got a big following.
He still has a big following. So if Coach Prime does leave, he's still gonna have a big following, man. It's just, but we just have to. Again, this is why we been saying we have to appreciate what's happening right now.
Gotta enjoy the moment, yeah.
And live in the moment.
He gotta tell his daughter. He gotta tell. Oh man,
They're gonna transfer right
That's
with
gonna
him.
be a.
Sometimes
Like,
I
come
think
on, man.
The daughter don't play anyway.
And I think Shiloh. Hey yo, and Shiloh. I think if he was leaving, I think Shiloh would call him out, man. Because Shiloh always
I think Shiloh might stay,
man.
He gonna follow his daddy family.
Because Shiloh don't really. If you go back in the origins of like what happened with Pilar and the wife and stuff, Shiloh was really close to his mother.
Yeah, I see that. You're right. You're right about that.
Shiloh actually might stay. That would not surprise me if Shiloh decided to stay.
I think
Shedeur's
Shiloh would
gone.
spill the
Shedeur's
beans though
gone.
if he knew.
I doubt it. I think the whole train rolling. But again,
He said he's just gonna get up. He just gonna get up and say he just gonna get up and all his kids. We all going to Boulder.
The Lord
that's
sent me to Boulder.
That's
exactly.
Boulder, man. Boulder.
If
That's
we're being
just too
honest,
much,
Coach
man.
Prime is doing charity
And
work.
then Shedeur got the little barbecue sauce with the
So
company in Jackson,
So what?
Mississippi.
So what?
Like, so that's gonna be hard. That's gonna
It's gonna be tough, man. Like I'll say this, man. Jackson, just wrap this up. Jackson State fans are gonna be sad. Everybody else in the SWAC are gonna be happy.
Grief counselors on standby.
If it happens, man, like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see, man. Again, this is why I've been telling folks for 2 years. You better appreciate what's happening. It is what it is, man.
Everybody else in the SWAC gonna be happy, right? They're gonna be happy for that. They're gonna be happy on Sunday, but then when the season roll around again and they and them ESPN games ain't popping up no more and all that ain't popping no more.
Yeah, and they really shouldn't be sad because Prime brought the money. Prime brought the exposure. You're going to go back to YouTube games. And that's sad. Because that hurts my heart, man. Somebody who really follows the space before Prime. And I'm still going to follow it. I'm still going to respect it. But the reality, I tell people all the time, you cannot put your trust in one man. Prime is not Jesus Christ.
He's not the savior.
I mean, he's not a Messiah. He's just a football coach. You know,
you're right about that. You're right about that. But he gonna take. Listen, he gonna take a hit, man.
He's a 1-on-1. It's gonna take no doubt. It's gonna be a hit.
He's gonna take a hit. I'm talking about like with his fan, like with the Prime fan base. He's gonna take a hit.
I don't think he's worried about that.
He's not worried about that. It's a calculated risk. You understand?
So it's all about money, then, right? Ain't that what it's about?
Yes, everybody's about.
We live in a capitalistic society. Man.
Think about this for a second, right? Before he came to Jackson State, he interviewed at Arkansas, interviewed at Florida State. I think it was one more school. He wanted to coach college football. They were not going to bring him in. Ashley Robinson made a pretty bold move because there was even people in the HBCU space like, this has got to be a gimmick. Yeah. This ain't going to work.
Agreed.
This guy is not going to commit to this for this little bit of money. This man house is like a Hilton hotel. He is not going to commit to this little bit of money. And he came in and he committed and he became part of the culture and he brought the culture with him, brought his kids, brought Travis Hunter, brought Nugget, Kevin Coleman.
I can't see it. Like, come on.
I tell you, I really couldn't see it either.
Like that.
But then there's people I know in the space that work in the space and telling me, yo, the deal is done. He told them, and I don't know, they could, everybody's hearing stuff, but just people I know from just the talk sports world, they were saying, yo, that's why you don't hear nothing coming out of Colorado. There's no rebut to what he said on Monday. They are shutting up because that program is on life support. Yes. And probably the only guy that can take them to another level is Prime because you're going to have a national recruiter.
That's going to take away from his recruiting because he ain't a man of his word.
Them kids.
Kids don't care. For the most part, kids don't care about that, man.
They don't care about that, dog.
If kids want to go, they're going to go. Parents might be feeling a little slighted, but kids, for the most part, we're like, hey, man, what can get me?
Them 4 and 5 star recruits don't care about that.
No, they not, bro. The
coaches change all the time. 3-star might not. I'm telling you.
These coaches change all the time, man. Yeah. Sarkisian moving around.
Yeah, but this is different though. Like, come on, y'all gotta admit it. Ain't this different?
Dallas Davis is in here.
This man stood up in front of this school.
Dallas, what's good?
He coming because God sent him and George Floyd.
So you so caught up on that, bro.
Bro. Yeah, but I'm just saying.
So hold on. I'll let you talk. This is like when you meet a girl and you sell her a dream at first, and then you explore other options. Like, oh man,
you knew as a dog when you
don't do that, but you don't do that in front of the whole world.
Why don't you
do that in front of the whole
Everybody
world?
does that. Everybody does that.
If you pimping like that, you're like, hey, whatever. You knew I was a dog when you met me.
Everybody.
Barack Obama told you change. He told you change.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He didn't do that for black people. So I mean, like, what? Everybody comes in with the intro.
What change have he made though?
What
long range? Like, think about it. What long range? Like what long lasting change has he made to HBCU?
Who?
If Prime leave, then they gonna go right back to being what they was before Prime.
That's not his problem. He came
but he said he came to change.
That's people change their mind all the time.
Yes,
right. I understand what y'all saying.
Yeah, we get it.
But what I'm trying to say is, yo, if you care about your personal image, and you supposed to be a man of your word, if you care about that, you ain't just going up and leave at the 2.5 seasons, man.
He never gave a timeline, bro.
Yeah. Right.
He never gave you a timeline.
He didn't give.
We're gonna drop that.
He said that he was going to
never gave you a timeline, dog.
We're gonna drop that
in your head.
The thing about
that's not how it operates, bro.
Let it go. Let's get to this young man. Let's make sure if this is in fact, Dallas Daniels. He says that so see me on TV, I'm trying to score for y'all. Young man, if you want to come up and give your speech, I don't even know if you can. It might be restricted. That might be restricted.
Yeah, I wouldn't encourage that.
Yeah, matter of fact, but no, if this is you, sir, hey man, you if anybody who's been on this channel, they know that you're probably my favorite player on this team. Like, it's so weird. Like, you've replaced Mr. What was my dude's name? Warren Newman. Warren Newman was my guy last year.
You're doing your thing, bro. I see your numbers are strong. Why wouldn't that be Daniels here, man? No doubt.
Warren Newman was my guy, but man, folks who's followed this stream this year, man, Dallas Daniels has become my favorite player to watch. I think he's just a really, really good route runner. He does everything well. Not exceptionally great, but I think he does everything well, and that's what you want out of a guy who's your slot guy, who's your dependable guy, to do things good, right? To do things really, really good, man, to be dependable. And I think Shedeur has found him one in Dallas Daniels. Shut up and bump. Can I address that real quick, Will? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going real quick, and I'll keep it not political. The reason why I say that is because there are a lot of conservative-minded black men who felt betrayed by Barack Obama, who don't like what he did in his 8 years. So yes, I can make that comparison because there are a lot of black men, black people for that matter, who don't like what Barack did with his term, given what he promised. So the juxtaposition I'm making is like, yeah, you could come in promising the world, you may not be able to deliver it, but it's still a net positive. That's all I'm saying.
All right, but what I'm saying is this though, brother, is that's politics. His money's gonna take a hit. His endorsements and all that, that's gonna take a hit.
No, it's not. Because Prom is on Affleck commercials, man. They ain't gonna...
It's the same thing,
man, that's gonna take a hit. He ain't gonna be on no Affleck. Listen, man, let me tell you something, man. He only on there because he doing FBS things at a HBCU. It's not no pull if he doing it at a FBS.
It's not no what?
It's not shiny. It's not shiny. It ain't glittering if he doing FBS things in the FBS. His pull is that he got a #1 recruit to this FBS and came to Jackson State. He gonna lose all that when he leaves Jackson State, man. He gonna lose all that.
I get what you're saying, and I'm just gonna sum it up in this. I hope he doesn't leave.
I hope he don't leave either, man.
I hope he doesn't. Me and Mike said that. He said Coach Brown made a big mistake by saying God sent him to Jackson. That lie has him in a bind. If he never said that nonsense, nobody would care. They would just see it as business.
Yep.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
You can't mention
because
God.
That's the only reason why I ain't never been to a HBCU. I ain't never really paid attention to HBCU football until Prime got there.
Right.
If Prime leave and go to Colorado, anytime I hear Prime name, I'm gonna say he a sucker, man.
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier, though.
His character gonna take a hit, man.
How much is enough time?
Right.
I'm just saying, as long as this is all I'm saying. As long as, because I feel like Jackson State gonna be able to pay Prime what he wants in a couple more years.
You can feel that way, but that doesn't make it reality.
Yeah.
I mean, why not though?
How much is enough time?
How much is enough time?
Yeah.
Till he do what he said he was gonna do.
What's that?
He said he was gonna change. He was gonna level the playing field. He haven't did that yet.
So, I mean, from a grown man, though, how long do you think that's going to be? From a grown man, just observing rhetoric. How long do you think that's going to be, bro?
I think that's going to be whenever he able to get the big lineman in the trenches.
I need numbers. So, how many years do you think it'll take him to do that?
2 more.
All right. So, if he leave in 3, I don't hear nothing from your mouth.
Me and Mike said you can't leave an abort mission in your sophomore year of a mission in the military. You have to do 4 years. Yeah, that's true, but this ain't the military.
He's 3 years in. It's his 3rd year. It's not his sophomore year.
Shut up and bump said that's not a fair comparison given the fight Obama had. That's not the same as what.
I mean, people say that, but Trump supporters say the same thing about Trump, that the House wouldn't agree with that. Like, I mean, that's semantics. You can play that game all day.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can play that game all day.
CA said y'all can't.
You ever been to an HBCU?
Yes. He played and graduated.
I coached and played at HBCU. What are you talking about?
What school?
Prairie View.
Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on.
What's going on?
Don't nobody, anybody from a different school. I mean, I ain't gonna even put that on you, brother. You
Nah,
know,
Please don't.
I ain't gonna even do that, brother.
He wants.
I ain't gonna even do that, bro. I ain't gonna even put that on you,
It's
bro.
just like-
I ain't gonna even do that.
Don't do that.
But I just noticed that everybody that ain't from Jackson State, like it's almost like they want Prime to be bought. They saying Prime, you gonna be bought like a
I want Prime to stay. I want him to stay for
It supports the whole culture loses when he leaves, man. It's
That's
just
what I'm saying.
it's just a reality.
Right.
I just got it from
I'm saying that, bro.
That's what I'm saying to
No,
y'all.
you're not-
We get it,
That's what I'm saying.
We get
No.
it. We get it. All I can say is, man, we hope he doesn't leave. Let's just leave it like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
We hope he doesn't leave.
I hope
man.
he stays forever, man.
Yeah, we hope it doesn't leave. So again, I should have labeled this damn title of this video, Coach Prime leaving or not.
Who is SWAC? That's what you should
Who
name
is
it.
SWAC?
Baby.
Man, let me tell him, make sure
That's all I was saying to y'all. Like the whole culture, like Prime right now, this next decision he gonna make, that everybody's saying he gonna leave and all that, is like come on, like Prime gotta know, like my people gonna be mad as hell at me if I leave Jackson State.
That's the risk and consequences of being in the limelight, man.
Yeah.
People were mad that he took Travis Hunter from his alma mater. People burned his jersey over that.
Yeah.
Man, it's just reality, bro.
Yeah.
That's reality, dog.
Like for instance, right? Like you know how Prime Video doing the documentary series on Prime, right? At Jackson State. That wouldn't have been that documentary ain't shiny or entertaining if he at Colorado.
It's true, but
if he at Colorado, that documentary don't mean nothing.
So what though?
if he makes
I'm
$5
just saying,
million,
if it's about money,
if he makes $5 million at Colorado and that documentary only makes $4 million, he wins.
Things change, bro.
Yeah.
Things change.
yo,
Everything else-
see, hey yo, Prairie View, hey yo, I hear it in your voice, man. Don't do that. I hear you.
What do you
You
hit
talking
about?
about, no, you talking about like it don't matter. Like that matters, family. That matters.
What school you go to SWAC?
I ain't never went to no HBCU.
Okay, so how you gonna tell me what my SWAC this is if you're not even an HBCU graduate?
Because it sounds like I've been paying attention to this for
You
the
asked-
last 2.5 years.
You ain't know how you went
And
to
what I see, and
You didn't know I went
you just said none of that matters.
because I even said on the show of my playing days, so you ain't been paying attention. I said me playing how SWAC culture is before you hopped up, bro. So you not been paying attention, bro. You
Yeah,
just
Mike
heard what you wanna
says-
hear and say what you want to say, and that's cool. But you ain't been paying attention because I laid out that I know SWAC culture because I played in it.
All right. What did you say then?
I said that when people were cussing Coach Prime out, that's SWAC culture. And I said when
Okay.
Alabama and Grambling in particular, it was hostile environment. We literally had to fight ourselves out the hallway to go play a basketball game.
Oh, that was you. Oh, okay. I thought that was
There's only two
my
people.
man. My bad. That was you.
All right, so Shut Up and Bump says Prime isn't swayed by public opinion. Let's stop talking about Coach Prime. Let's get back to the game. I'm gonna leave it at that. Prime said he isn't swayed by public opinion. He would do what's best for him. He would lose playing the game fans if he leaves or not. Man, exactly, man.
That's why I'm saying, Will, imagine us as grown men having this conversation. You imagine these kids?
Yeah.
And you got to play a game Saturday. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, we're having this conversation, and you can hear the emotions, see the comments. Imagine those kids who are right in the cut. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying, though, brother. That's what I'm saying. He got to be. He got to be like, what is a recruit gonna think of me if I say one thing and do the other?
No.
Coaches do it all the time, man. Coaches do it all the time. They do it all the time. So, man, back to these Southern guys, man.
Like he got Travis Hunter. Like one more thing. He got Travis Hunter to turn down FBS schools to come to the SWAC, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you gonna turn around and do the same thing you told Travis Hunter not to do? That's what you gonna do, Brown?
you're assuming a lot. So he's saying, like, come under me. I'm going to teach you. So you can permeate that over any program if that's how he pitched him. We don't know the pitch.
Right.
No, Travis Hunter said he came to make history.
Understood.
He said that out of his own mouth.
Understood. But you don't know the overall pitch. It's like, hey, come under my tutelage. I'm one of the best cornerbacks ever. I'm going to teach you. So that's the overarching. Because I think you get caught up on the sales pitch. Because you got to have an end on everything. You come in and say hope, change, history. But then there's a whole underbelly of it, of what you actually are doing. So you got to make room for that part too, bro. I think you get caught up on the first statement and you just kind of hang on that. But with anything, it's more than just that first pitch. It's the whole walkthrough of the situation. So I think you're not making enough room for that, bro.
And then I hear him say this when like if you listen to him, he talks as if he gonna be there. Like he said, yeah, next year you gonna be all SWAC, but you ain't played enough games this year yet. That's what he said about Travis Hunter.
Name me a coach who don't talk like that, who leaves. Name me one coach who says, well, I ain't going to be here next year, so whoever's here next year.
Didn't Hugh Freeze sign a 10-year extension at Liberty and then left 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
He ain't proud, though.
It don't matter. He's still a man. Still a man.
I know it ain't. I know it hurts more because Prime is a change page. It's a difference maker. Listen.
Yeah, man.
I feel bad about it too, man, because I think again, my heart sinks to see him leave before the Celebration Bowl. That to me, like to have Dennis Thurman or Bart Loney coaching the team as an interim, that's it ain't built for that. But again, it's a business. It's a business. It's a dirty business too. It's a dirty business.
Especially after he didn't down there put the whole season on the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, come on.
It happened.
No,
it happened. All right, man. Enough of that crap, man. I don't want to hear that no more. Back to the Southern Jackson State game, man.
SWAC, baby.
I just want to hear predictions, man, because I was supposed to shut this down probably about 20 minutes ago. I want to hear what predictions of what Shedeur is going to do this weekend. What the quarterback of Southern, Mr. I want to say Sean McCray is his name.
Sean McCray.
Sean McCray. So just those two guys, give your thoughts about that, and then just kind of give your predictions because my pool getting cold. That's what y'all.
I think Southern got to do a lot of misdirection and kind of like trick plays because Jackson State is real susceptible to that.
This is a game to do that.
You know what I'm saying? I think Southern gonna have to do a lot of. They're gonna have to do a lot of trick and misdirection type of plays.
Supposed to be raining
just to have a chance.
Messy weather.
Yeah.
Ooh. I didn't know about the rain.
I think again, it comes down to when you think about it, Jackson is the superior team. But again, you're playing a team twice in a year. You're playing a team that's looking at you with a lot of distraction going on in your camp. I still going to pick Jackson to win. I'm going to go 28-14. It's not going to be a blowout. But I think, again, every day, man, I mean, Dion is the number one topic on Twitter. This thing is changing every hour. So, I mean, it's right now, I'm picking Jackson. I think Shedeur will come out. I think Shedeur might have a great game because in his mind, he might be the only one that suits up that's comfortable with the situation because it's his dad. So
because he probably know the inside.
He definitely knows the inside. Yeah. But I think again, Jackson State will win the SWAC. 28-14 is my score.
Southern players gonna be on the field, taunting them like that's why y'all coach leave.
Yeah, you gotta use anything. You gotta use anything to your advantage, man.
Yeah, I know, but they gonna be on the field saying all types of shit like that.
Yeah.
Let me say something real quick. I see the comment. Just because I never said I was a SWAC expert. I said I understand SWAC culture. I never said I was an expert. I never purported myself to be a SWAC expert. I'm just saying I understand how the trenches work in the conference. That's all I said. So, I mean, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but I just keep it real. Like, I don't have lofty goals because I seen when the SWAC is horrible on SWAC Media Day, nobody cared about it. I've been a part of it when nobody cared about it. I remember coaching when there's a little bit of care going when we kind of left the Doer Sharp era. So I've seen a lot with the SWAC. So that's all I'm sharing is perspective. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but
Hoop, you ain't got to blush, brother. You played in it, man. You sue it up. You ain't got to blush, man. Everybody's not going to agree. You ain't got to blush, man. You played in that, man. You earned to speak on that. You sue it up and you played there. So nah, man. Don't worry about that.
And I admit, I'm definitely a SWAC bandwagon. When Prime came, I came. I ain't gonna lie.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, boss. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I came, family.
No,
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm not shaming you for that. Not at all. Like, I mean,
Just
I think
stick with it. If Prime leaves, just still support it, man.
Yeah.
Because one man should not change.
I'm gonna have to. It's almost gonna be like when LeBron left Cleveland. Like,
don't say
we
that.
Gonna leave. We gonna quit. We gonna quit Prime and stay with the SWAC.
Keep
You know what
riding
I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen if you
don't use LeBron.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here when Prime leave. I'm gonna still be supporting the SWAC. It ain't gonna change.
Exactly, man.
But
we'll be at the Celebration Bowl in December. So regardless, he there or not,
I ain't going nowhere. But as far as the SWAC is concerned, I'm sorry, the football game. Man, listen, man. If Southern comes out slow like they did against Grambling, they're gonna get their doors blown off. I'm sorry. And I know Jackson traditionally starts a little low. Slow. But against that defense, nah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another ass whooping in my opinion. I hope it's a good game. I hope that Southern brings it because I just want a good product on the field. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
I want a good product because I hate when people say SWAC is lower tier football, lower tier basketball.
ESPN 2 game.
Yeah, I don't like.
I definitely learned that it's not.
Doing their
I ain't
damn
gonna lie.
So y'all look at SWAC basketball. SWAC basketball has been up.
Kicking. They've been taking it,
Man,
taking names and whooping there, taking names and whooping there
like this.
Yeah.
Grandma just beat Colorado.
Yeah, yeah, true story.
So
Yeah,
them
and so
Pac-12 schools are having a good time with the basketball stuff, man.
Yeah, I think Prairie View's like 4-2. Like Prairie View been whooping ass. I'm like, damn.
That might need to be a stream we need to go and get in at some point soon before the calendar changes over to 2023.
Losing power. You already ain't got no power.
You say who?
Oh no, I'm looking at something on TV, man.
Going up. All right, man. So, did you give a score prediction?
No, I didn't yet. So it's gonna be a lot to little, unless Southern in their front four just cause havoc, with Dumas and boys, which I've seen them do obviously a few times, but they don't get going to like third quarter with that. Jackson ain't gonna let you stay around that long. So, in my opinion, it's gonna be Jackson 48, Southern 13.
Woo!
Yeah, so it's gonna be a beat
down. So I was gonna go in the 40s. I was gonna give them 40, but I'm gonna go close to 40. I'm gonna say 38-17 Jackson State. 38-17.
42-0, man.
42-0.
42-0.
42-0 and Coach Prime ain't going nowhere.
Yep, 42-0, man.
I hope Coach Prime stay forever, man. I really do, man.
42-0.
Coach Prime only mistake is using all the TD Jakes vocabulary.
And that is pastor though, TD Jakes?
That is his pastor, man. So
yeah,
that's true. The coach job. All right, man. So obviously, I should have named this stream something totally different, man. But we kind of got it to where we needed to be at some point. A little bit in here. I might need to take a few excerpts from this and there and plug it out there on social media somewhere. Kevin, I think I heard you say you're going to be at the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the Celebration Bowl, man. I'll be out there that Thursday. I guess that's the 16th. And we should be recording from Radio Row that Friday. I'm just waiting for everything to come through. I guess they're getting a lot of requests. So, but yeah, I'm excited about that. I'll be in ATL.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, be careful out there, man. And send me the link whenever y'all go live.
Oh, no doubt.
So I can check it out.
And whenever you brothers are ready, not to put it on TV, but whenever y'all ready, man, let's go.
Man, we gotta get to that, man. It's crazy, man, because December snuck up on me, and I'm like, dang, man.
Nah, I know it's the holidays, man. We all,
snuck up on me.
We can pick it up after the ball drop.
Yeah. We'll definitely get a Zoom in, so we need to get that rocking and rolling, man. But I do appreciate y'all. Whatever closing comments y'all got, man. Let's get to it.
Oh, well, good. Cool.
as the SWAC expert on the board. I just play. No, man, I like the banter, man, because to me, again, this is SWAC culture, man. If you guys want to like be ingratiated into it, if you're on Facebook, go to Rough in the SWAC. Go to a Facebook group called Rough in the SWAC. You'll see real SWAC culture, and you'll see why, like on YouTube, it's kind of like play nice, everybody hold hands, but real SWAC culture is very cutthroat. It's very cutthroat, and that's why I come to try to bridge the gap with both of those worlds, with YouTube world and then like, social media world, because everybody ain't cheering for Jackson like that. Right. Everybody don't want Coach Prime to succeed like that, and that's just reality. Yeah. So I just try to play devil's advocate to try to understand what Coach Prime is doing and just understand, the world through his eyes. Right. And so the brother, he's very passionate about Prime staying, and that's cool. But I'm just saying, like, he's not going to be there forever, so prepare your hearts because, there's going to be a day when he will not be at the helm at Jackson State. Right. So understand how to unpack it. That's all I'm saying. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for hearing. I thought it was a good conversation. It went. I know we were way off task, but
way off task.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
Look, you just gotta flow. You gotta flow when the conversation goes, man.
The reality is this, fellas, is that the old ad: if I give a man fish, but if I teach a man how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. I guess something like that. I'm screwing that up. But the thing about
if you teach him how to fish, you eat for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hoop. So the thing about it is Prime has opened the eyes up to the nation to HBCU, primarily SWAC football, right? Yeah. And the reality is that the zenith for this thing is the 60 Minutes Good Morning America and Game Day. If this is the last hurrah, it doesn't mean it's the last hurrah for SWAC sports and SWAC football. Commissioner was just on the press call this week. The viewership is up, the money's up. The people who have found their way here because of Prime, and it's a lot who have, don't leave it.
Exactly.
If it's really what it's about, right? If it's about like supporting us and supporting what we built and the people who shade this hue, then don't leave it. Don't make one man responsible for the journey that you found. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I have a problem with. Coaches come and go. Players come and go. Shedeur Sanders is not going to be at 15 years. It's not the NFL. So he only had 2 more years. So the reality is that, look, man, take this, bottle it, and use it as fuel and keep coming back. Don't, the vet's going to be packed regardless. The vet was packed before Prime, and the vet will be packed after Prime. Mm-hmm. I got to believe in Ashley Robinson. He made a move, and I'm sure once he made this move 2 years ago, he knew it was going to be an expiration date. There's got to be a backup plan. If I'm Ashley Robinson, maybe I go to D. Thurman. Obviously TC will be there still, and say, hey, let's keep this thing going. I would go to Thurman. Thurman's a former NFL guy. Thurman has the best defense in FCS, and I would say, hey, I know that's your boy, but let's make you the head coach. Dennis Thurman's in his 60s. He's an older guy. He's probably settled roots in Jackson. Maybe you can convince him to stay. Maybe he doesn't want to do it. I'm hearing from my people that the Prime is talking to somebody from Ohio State about being his DC. That ain't Dennis Thurman. So maybe there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But again, these are smart people. Ashley Robinson is a great AD. I gotta believe they have a game plan in place. But again, if you're gonna support it. Wish Prime well. Don't have hard feelings. There's going to be a lot of that out there, but don't have hard feelings because the man did make some moves. He left Jackson in a better place than he came in.
Exactly. I've been saying that. If you want to, that's what coaches do. Successful coaches, you want to leave a place better than what you got it. And that's the case. He's putting his assistant coaches in positions to be successful outside of Jackson. Absolutely. So, it is what it is, man. Again, I know we tend to try to not, on this channel, we try to speak from logic. We try to speak from just, thinking, not from emotions, man. We know a lot of sports fans have a lot of emotion, but at the end of the day, you got to take your emotions out and be objective to what's happening. So that's what we do on the channel. I hope that y'all subscribe, and then Saturday we can be back at it, man. I know who can be on it Saturday, so we're going to be back at it Saturday. So we're going to shut it down, man. Y'all have a great, great night. I'm hungry. My phone cold, man. Cold. So
Appreciate you having me come on, fellas. Thanks again,
Gotcha.
man. Always a
Gotcha.
pleasure rocking with y'all.
yes, sir. All right, y'all. Peace. We out.
Peace.